because when you do a hem on this, this right here is 1 inch, and this is going to fold over 1 inch. So I'll show you what that is. And so that's what we need. Snips, crimping tool, using a bigger hammer for more detail work this time, and a hand hem hand brake. We'll see that. That's the magic. So the first thing you do, I want you to notice again right here those marks right there with the Sharpie. Those are 1 inch down because they correlate to the depth of this hem and this brake. All right? So first thing I need to do, cut that back. And then over here, all right, again, get that line on there, and that gives you your 1 inch cut, guaranteed. So then I cut back the extra over here, and I'm doing it at the more than the angle of the house because it needs to be out of the way for the standing seam that goes over it and locks over it. Just needs to be out of the way. If it gets in the way, then it starts protruding further than you want it to. So I want you to look at these diamonds. Now there's 2 diamonds on this thing. Slide it on there. Slide. And I smack it up against there where I just cut it. And you can see in these diamonds, you see that? That is where the roof, and that's letting you know that you've got in the tool all the way as far as you need it to go. And then you just bend it over. So now here's the magic. This is really the thing about making the hem for the standing seam and using the hem tool hand brake. That is it right there. We have just now, and then take that off, and you see there we have just flapped it back over. So now we're going to do some detail work over here. First off, I'm going to cut this at the angle of the roof. Which is 14 degrees. After you do a few hundred of these, you start memorizing how much you need to cut off. And then cut this down. That's waist. And then cut along the ridge also. And you're going to match what you just cut off, and then using this, it kind of gives you about 1/4 of an inch, and you cut that off. And then using again, this will be about the width. Where this little line is right here that you just cut off, you're aiming for that. Alright, so now I'll get the hem tool. I'm going to pull that up out of the way because it's in the way right now. Use the hem tool and then just bend it over, and that's just really giving it a good start. Now we get to the detail work. Now I have a sledgehammer over there, but I don't think it's going to be necessary today. And if you look, when this goes up on the roof, right there, that's going to close that up, just give it a little detail, just so bees can't get in there, snow can't get in there, weather can't get in there, and you're not just looking up a empty shaft. That's how you prep a standing seam metal roof. The rest we'll do up on the roof. So now's when we get to the fun part, installing the panels themselves. Now, no exposed fasteners means that there are only 2 screws at the very top of the panel that are holding this whole panel. And then there's clips over the edge of the seam that's covered by the next panel. Those clips are screwed into the substrate, and the panel slides up and down those clips.
The hem is not connected by any fastener whatsoever over the drip edge. And that way the whole panel can expand and contract with the heat. And those two screws that are holding the panel at the top, they get covered by the ridge cap. Again, no exposed fasteners.
So we're here up on the roof and it's a little bit windy. I hope you can hear me and it's not too distracting, but I want to show you how to finish off your standing seam metal roof with a ridge cap. Now, prior to putting the ridge cap, you need to put Z-bar. Z-bar is going to hold it and it's going to give you a clean look and hold down that ridge cap without exposed fasteners. So this is a piece of ridge cap, and this is what's going to go on your Z-bar at the top of your gable and finish off your roof and protect these sides right here, the overhangs, and what's exposed here at the top. So the ridge is that profile right there. Now, since we're finishing out the corner right there, I want to put a little box end. So I already did that and riveted that. Now that box end will go at the end of your wall. Now this is a single slope roof. I don't know that there are any other examples on YouTube that you're going to be able to find for a single slope termination like this. Most are gable. For a gable roof, it's the same on each side and Z-bar on each side of the gable. So Z-bar looks like this. That's why they call it. Comes in 10-foot lengths, and you're going to want to pre-cut those to the width of your specific standing seam metal roof width. Now they come in 10-footers because sometimes you run them along the side and at length. So these are all pre-cut. That's one thing you want to do on the ground, and then I put them in a bucket and then I take them up on the roof with me. And you're going to do this very repetitively, so get a routine. Now I want to show you my routine, even though it's a little bit backwards for me because I'm normally on the other side. So butyl tape is what has to go underneath, and it's a waterproofer and it also holds it. So it comes in these rolls like this, and it has one piece of paper protecting that side and one side's exposed. So what I typically do, I just grab one of these guys. I have a routine. I'm a little backward on this one. And you want to put your butyl tape. Now it's not going to want to stick too well, and typically you want to wear gloves. I'm showing you this without gloves. It can give you a heck of a paper cut too if you run your hand along it wrong. So then take that off. I throw it in my bag, and I want to show you this. Now I've already marked this. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the edge to the marks, and that is the very edge of your ridge cap. Then I have an awl, and about 2 inches off, I put a hole, and the other side, and I leave it. I leave it in place, screw one side down. Take your awl, put it to the next one, and there you go. Now you've installed your Z-bar and continue it throughout the entire roof.
If you picked up any tricks from this and you liked watching this and want to encourage the channel to continue, then go ahead. Most people don't, but please subscribe.
So this being a single slope, the termination is only going to be with the Z-bar, and then we're going to finish it out on this side, on the face, on the fascia. I want to show you how to put this ridge cap on. The ridge cap, you've already installed your Z-bar. Now the Z-bar hooks on, and let me look at that profile right here. It will hook on that. This being a single slope, it's a little bit different.
So what it will do is you want it to hook onto that. You see how that just went? And that holds up. If the Z-bar can be a little temperamental, if it's not up all of them the same height, then what you're going to have to do, pretty simple. You've installed this. Now, what you do is you just push that Z-bar back until it meets, and then it gets in there, and that profile goes on there. Same with the next one. That's already done. You just push them in place, and they stay. Now that's locked down. We're going to end up putting some rivets every couple of feet just to secure it down. Then on the fascia, we're going to put some hex screws. So this box end, we want to keep it just slightly overhanging. That way it deflects the rain. You can hear it grabbing and making that lock. So we've got all the Z-bar clipped underneath and holding. Now they're securing this, but I want to go to the end, to the box, and make sure it's to the right. I can just push it down a little bit, then I'm going to start securing it with rivets. Now here's a tip for you. You're going to want to rivet these every couple of feet. And the way you do that, you're going to want to drill that for the rivet. And get a pair of locking pliers. They have other names. By using some locking pliers, you can bond those pieces while you're drilling it. And then when you're putting the rivet on there, put it in place. Now, if you really want an airtight house, you need to foam up everything. Airtight means airtight in every way you can. So I want to put foam in there, expanding foam, everywhere I can. Sometimes it's best to do the hardest part first. I'm using Fire expanded foam from Hilti. You notice the color's a little bit different. I want that foam to be just a little bit proud too, so that any moisture does collect in here. Always close these off. These are a total game changer. Any expanded foam is a great game changer. And then now we want to put on the boot jack. All right, I said I was going to show you something that helps you out with this Lexol. Just a little bit of water, excuse me. For you girly men, I'm going to edit that out. Sorry, ladies. And you just smear it on there. By having that wet edge, it creates a very smooth surface. And so by putting it smooth, less retainage of moisture up here, let the ice get off of here. Now let's get off this roof. If you want to continue watching Modern Mountain Living and see what we're up to, then we've picked out a video over here just for you.